Parshas Beshalach, we discussed the crossing of the Red Sea. So there's a famous midrash that we talked about. I don't know if we talked about it, but we'll talk about it quickly. Here, the Jewish people were at the edge of the sea. They're being chased by the Mitzrayim. They didn't know what to do. The Jewish people got split up into four camps. One of the camps wanted to commit suicide. One of the camps wanted to fight with the Mitzrayim. One of the camps was busy praying. One of the camps just wanted to go back and be slaves again. And none of the what was the point? And what the point is? The point was is none of the camps really thought that there's a fifth way, that possibly the sea will split and they will go through it. And that's exactly what happened. The sea split and the Jewish people went through it. So then afterwards, there's the man. Like when we're in the desert, God gives us the man, the manna. And Rashi says later on that the answer is Harbe shluchim yeshlo, that Hashem has many shluchim, that has many messengers, and there's many ways that God could give it. Because again, they were saying, where are we going to get the food? They really shouldn't have been concerned about where they got the food. They had plenty of cows, they had plenty of sheep, they had all the gold and silver from Mitzrayim. They're very wealthy. And yet they're asking, where are they going? And Hashem has many shluchim, and Hashem sent the man. The manna every day, except for Shabbos, it fell on Friday. They got twice the amount on Friday. And the rest of it, they got every day. And if they held it over to the next day, it rotted and got bad. So it's miraculous. And so again, the point is the Hashem has many shluchim, Hashem has many messengers. You never know what is Hashem's messengers, where Hashem's messengers are going to be. Just to tell a quick personal story, I know when I first started out as a dentistry, times were very hard, and we were living really not even paycheck to paycheck because it was my own practice. It was really patient to patient. And, and I really needed, I had to pay the babysitter, I had to pay for food, rent, all these different expenses, and I didn't know where the money was coming in. At the time, I saw in my office, they brought some kids from they're really adults already, from a special needs facility for me to treat them. So one of the special needs individuals, he needed a bridge. He was missing a tooth, he needed a bridge, and it really wasn't covered with the insurance. So he just asked me, what could I do about this missing tooth? And I said, listen, unfortunately, your insurance isn't going to pay for it. And he goes to me, well, how much does it cost? And I told him, and it wasn't a small sum, because there's lab, there's time, there's expenses. And he's like, well, when would you be able to do it? So I was like, well, you need to make a payment, some sort of down payment. We could start right away. So sure enough, what does he do? He takes out his money, he takes us there, he takes the money and he pays for the entire bridge all in one time. And I was not expecting it. He's living in a group home. He has no resources that I know of, and here he is. And then I see so many shluchim Hashem have. Here's something I wasn't expecting. And here I had to pay my bills that day. I had to pay my receptionist. I had to pay my rent. I had to pay my food. And here he's coming in, and he's giving me a few $1,000s to do the work for him. He didn't even have to pay all of it. But I saw clearly that this is what Hashem wanted. And I think throughout our lives, we have to realize that to Hashem yesh haba shluchim, that Hashem has many shluchim, has many messengers, and that we have to be aware that it's not always the messenger that we think or that we're expecting, but that He has many, and we should open our eyes and we'll see more and more, and we should be merit to see them and try and continue in Hashem's ways.